Hello Rockstars, Matt Vanderbo here. Hey, in this last video I made, I talked about one of the potential paths you can take as a sync music producer as being a person who makes music specifically for advertising and commercials. And in this video, I threw some numbers out there that are these massive sums of money. We're talking $100,000 to $200,000 for landing one placement in one giant commercial. And while it is true that some people can command those types of payments, it is just not very likely to happen for you. And I hate to come at you sounding like I'm calling you a loser, but it is just extremely unlikely that you, as a small-time, unknown, independent musician, are ever going to command those types of paydays. So I need to make this video to shed a little bit of reality or tamper down some of your lofty aspirations if you think,
well, geez, Matt,
I'm just going to spend all my time making music for advertising, and so what if I don't get anything for 3 entire years? Because when I finally get one thing that pays $150,000, then it was all worth my time.
So please watch this video to the end to know that that is not likely to happen for you, and you are better off spending your energy elsewhere. Okay, so first thing to know is that all these big advertisers use an advertising agency to create all of their commercials and ads and marketing materials. And these ad agencies are given a budget that they have to work with, and of this entire budget, a portion of that budget will be set aside for music. And this is true regardless of how big the advertiser is. Okay, you could have a mom and pop auto repair business down the road, and if they want to run a commercial, they might be willing to spend $50 to $100 on music. Okay, peanuts. But the bigger a business gets, the more advertising budget they have, and the bigger the music budget becomes. So a mid-range retailer like, let's say, Old Navy, they might be able to spend $5,000 to $10,000 on the perfect music. And this gets bigger and bigger, up to $20,000 to $50,000 until you get to the giant players in the game. Your Nikes, your Apples, your Fords, your Dodges. Those are where you're going to see these gigantic 6-figure payments come from. But now let me draw an analogy for you guys. Let's pretend that one of your appliances in your house has just gone out. Let's say your washing machine. And you set aside a budget of $3,000 so you can go buy a new washing machine. You go down to the local Best Buy or wherever and you look at all the washing machines and you find the perfect one that completely fits every need that you might have, and it only costs $1,500. Yeah, baby. That's a big time savings. So now, are you going to be like, well, I set aside $3,000. I'm going to spend every last penny of it, even if I don't need to? Or are you going to be like, woohoo, I saved $1,500 and I still got the product I wanted? The same thing is true for advertising agencies. Just because they might have a music budget of $100,000 does not mean that they are overly eager to spend every last dime of it. If they can save money out of that ad budget and go back to their client and say,
hey, we came in under budget on this project and we did such a good job for you. We exceeded your expectations in the overall expenditure of this ad campaign. This is why you should hire us for your next campaign.
If they have the ability to do that, they are going to do it. So just because the money is set aside does not mean all of it is getting spent. So you will see these briefs come across your desk if you've been doing this music thing long enough, and they will say advertising agency is paying up to $100,000. Well, giveaway. Yeah, they will pay up to $100,000, but they'd rather not pay that much. If they can get away with paying only $10,000 for a song, you better believe they're going to try. So now let's just say that an ad agency does decide to spend the entire budget on one song. So they got $100,000 and they said, we're going to spend it all. That money is probably only going to the insanely popular A-list artist with a #1 or a top 10 song. And you got to realize that any song that is landed in the top 10 has some sort of built-in emotional reaction with the listenership, because that song has probably saturated the market. It has been all over the airwaves. It's everywhere you can think of. And people have heard it so much that there is an emotional emotion that springs to life within the listeners when they hear that song. So that song comes to the commercial with a built-in emotion. And if this commercial over here needs that emotion of the song, well, that's part of what they are paying for. So now the video and the product that's being sold doesn't have to work as hard with creating this emotional appeal because the music has already done that in its playlist history of getting to the top 10. So you can now see that part of what the ad agencies are paying for is not only the song, but the emotion that that song brings with it. Now, another reason ad agencies might pay top dollar for a song is if the artist is hugely recognizable and just a larger than life figure that their presence alone will help elevate the product. You got to think right now, I see Snoop Dogg on all the T-Mobile commercials. You see Patrick Mahomes doing stuff for Allstate. Like, these celebrity endorsements are all over the place. And when you license a hit song, like a #1 song, you are also licensing the image of the artist. So not only do you get the emotion that song brings with it, but you get the star power that this artist brings with their song. So you put all of that together, and now your commercial is much more likely to resonate with an audience and sell products than someone who is a completely unknown entity with a heretofore unheard of song. So as they say in the stock market, all of this stuff is priced in. So that $100,000 sync license that Nike is buying comes with the emotion. It comes with the artist image. All of that stuff is priced into the song, which is why independent, unknown musicians with a song no one has never heard of before are not going to command those $100,000 paydays. So let's just say that an advertiser says, you know what, we don't need the star power. We don't need this pre-existing emotional connection. We just need a good song. And they find one and it's yours. Oh, bravo. Well, that ad agency is probably going to come to you and give you a lowball offer, which will seem to you like a giant windfall. And they're going to say, hey, we'd like to offer you a sync license fee of $5,000 or $10,000. And you're going to be like, woo, ah, woohoo! You're going to be out of your mind excited, as you should be. And your reaction is going to be, oh, where do I sign? And thank you, sir. Can I have another? Because that's a big payday for people who are not celebrities. So you win. You walk away with, say, $10,000 that you didn't have yesterday. The ad agency walks away with a great song that they paid 10% of their ad budget for, and the advertiser is happy because the agency saved the money. Everybody's just very, very happy on that. But in order to get there, they had to go to the unknown independents that don't have that emotional appeal and don't have that star power. So hopefully you understand now why chasing these $100,000 placements is a fool's errand for an independent musician. And I don't mean it's a foolish business practice. It is a very viable way to get success in the music industry. And I have friends that do it. Like, they are 100% focused on advertising and they've managed to make a living off of it. But I don't think they've ever landed those six-figure payments that we are taunted with, like a carrot dangling in front of a bunny rabbit. So while I would never want to dissuade you from doing what you want to do musically, if you want to make music for commercials, great. Just go in it with your eyes open and realize that the big numbers that you see are not likely to happen for the small-time folks. So that's it. You just need to go into this forewarned and forearmed. And now I will give you a fun little joke. Did you ever hear about the two TV antennas that got married? Well, the ceremony was pretty boring, but the reception was great. Go!